Welcome to the Notary Educators with Kimmi Podcast. Hosts Kimmi and Jeff Nunnally, along with Alexis Franklin, share expert insights to help you launch and grow a successful mobile notary business no matter what state you are commissioned in. Learn how to become a top-notch loan signing agent and get answers to common notary questions. Explore our all-inclusive $47 monthly training library, plus live weekly online coaching sessions with courses on general notary work, wedding efficient services, remote online notary, ink fingerprinting, apostille, translation services, and I-9 completion. Notary Educators, LLC is your one-stop shop for notary training. Tune in to the Notary Educators with Kimmi podcast and subscribe to the Notary Educators with Kimmi's YouTube channel also for more tips. Take your notary business to new heights.
Coach Kimmi, how's it going? Yes, #1 notary educator in the house. Welcome, welcome. Hey guys. So we'll let YouTube do what it does. You know, I gotta say that they take a minute to notify everybody. In the meantime, hello to those on the podcast and those who watch the replay. We are live. We are live. We are live. Today, guys, we are talking about our notary still needed. I got this comment in the this question in the comments last night after the live, and I was like, wow, people are still asking that. Good question though, because you may be new, thinking about starting your notary business, not sure if you should, if it's still room for you in this space. So I love that question. So today's topic is, are notaries still needed? Are notaries still needed? Yes. Yes. Let's talk about it. So first of all, for those of you who may be brand new, just a little bit about myself. I am a notary educator / trainer / et cetera. I teach notaries nationwide how to have a successful notary business. You got to know how to stamp that paper before you do anything. So the answer is, notaries still needed? Yes, they are. What kind of notaries? Good notaries. So we're going to talk about it. First of all, what is a notary for those that may be spanking brand new? A notary is a public official that looks at documents, looks at the signers, make sure they are who they say they are, and then they stamp that paper and get paid for it, basically. Now, there are a lot of different things that we can do as notaries. Hey, guys, welcome. I won't go down a whole list, but I'll give you a few. You can do general notary work, loan signing agent, field inspection, mystery shopping. I mean, it's just a slew of things that you can do because people trust us. We are a public official. Okay, so the question that we're going to answer is, are notaries still needed? The short answer is yes. Documents are still being notarized every single day. Every single day, documents are being notarized. Okay, that's not going to change. The role of the notary has been around since Bible times. Okay, when you go back and look in the Bible, I believe it was Ezra. I believe even, I know Ezra because he did like some, he was like a, not a note taker, but a scribe or whatever during Bible times. So it's a role that's been around forever. The recording of documents is not new. Again, that's where the whole word seal comes from the old times. They would take like hot wax, and you see like an old letter if you're watching like, Princess Bride or something in the Roman times, the seal, that's what the seal was, hot wax. And they would take the hot wax and your seal, let's say it was a form of a duck. So you have the duck form, you have the hot wax, and that's your seal. As you close up that letter, make it official. The king's seal will go on something. So that verbiage is still used today. And in training, we go over quite a bit of that. Quite a bit of the king's language is still being used from Latin. The Latin, oh my God, this is not a history lesson, but you got to kind of know this to kind of know where I'm going. So the Latin-based language, a lot of stuff is still used nowadays. Okay, so it's not going anywhere. The role of the notary is not going to fade away. Will the role of the notary maybe look different in the future? Yes, it's already changing. Before, we only strictly looked at documents and identified our clients. Now, again, we're being asked to go out and do field inspections. We're being asked to go out and do mystery shopping. We're being asked to do ink fingerprinting. We're being asked to do loan documents. So it's so many different things. We're being asked to do remote online notary. We're being asked to do a split signing, a hybrid signing. Some of the documents are signed with pen, some of them are signed with the computer. So the role of the notary will continue to evolve and will continue to change. Hey guys, can somebody let me know that you can hear me? Just a quick thumbs up on the video or something. I just need to know because YouTube is having some growing pains. And the other day I did a full 20-minute video. 20 minutes, guys. And then somebody came through, they were like, there's no sound. So let me make sure that there is some sound. If somebody could just do a little mic check with me, okay? I've been already talking, so 5 minutes. So I'm really hoping we got some sound here, okay? I see somebody been hanging out with me, so it must be some sound. Okay, cool. All right, so anyway, so again, who needs a notary? That might be your next question, okay? So the role is not going away. The role may change. The role may change, and even look at like a secretary. Let's use the role of a secretary. Secretaries back in the day, they actually took notes and they wrote letters and they printed copies and they did all these different things, right? And they still do all that. They still do all that. But the role has changed in the sense that now most secretaries, one more, let's go back even further than that. When I was in high school, I was still able to take a shorthand class. If some of you know, you know. Shorthand is just that you don't write the whole word. You write like a character to describe what the word is. It replaces the word. So I took a shorthand class. Wasn't no good at it, but I took it because I was going to be this big executive secretary, right? That being the case, shorthand is no longer irrelevant, right? The secretary that knew shorthand and all that, because I knew a friend of mine, she was a beast master at shorthand. She worked for GM. Beast master, okay? But that role, that part of the secretary job is gone. It's no longer needed. But the role of a secretary is still there. When you call big corporate offices, they still have a secretary. So that role will never go away. You can say, well, Kim, AI is coming. So they're going to replace the secretaries with AI. Wrong, wrong, and wrong. Hey, Va Young, how are you? The role of the secretary is not going to go away even with AI. And see, that's the thing with AI. We kind of go all over the place today, okay? Because a lot of people think, well, okay, AI is coming, right? So AI is going to take our jobs. It's not going to take your job. It's going to help you to do your job better. And if you know how to use AI, then you're going to win, okay? Same thing with the notary. The role of the notary is not going anywhere. A robot cannot identify. And they don't tell me they got the stuff at the airport because they do, right? But humans are making mistakes on documents. So you can only imagine what robots are going to do. So they may try to replace us, but they're going to actually need a physical human to examine these documents, or at least certain documents, to make sure that everything is okay. So the role of the notary is not going anywhere. It's not. There are over 4 million or 4 billion documents that are floating through this country every day. Okay, all year. People are needing a notary. They are having surgery still. Surgeries aren't stopping. So a robot cannot go to the hospital and help get the document notarized. I had some friends the other day needed some documents notarized. Somebody in the family was having surgery, so they had to come here and I helped them with the notarization. A robot is not going to go to the hospital. A robot, or not every single notary even go to hospitals, okay? First of all, some people don't drive. They only do remote. So that's room for you. Some notaries only work 9 to 5. You may be able to work 5 to 9 after work. You may be able to work on the weekends. I may not work on the weekends. So there's room for everybody at the table. Everybody's role and everybody's way that they make their money is going to look completely different. A better question would be, what do I need to do to be a great notary in order to make sure I have a thriving business? See, that's the difference in the question. That's the difference. You see the difference? Are notaries still needed? Yeah, they still need it. Are you going to be one of them is another question. There's always a question behind the question. Okay, so the notaries are going to be here. Are you going to be here, right? And then right now there's a whole lot of chatter in the notary space and a lot of uproar about the way signing companies are acting. There's a lot of uproar about people just saying, period, that there isn't any work. And that's not true. People are still buying homes every single day. People are still getting loan modifications every single day because people's circumstances are changing. And people encompasses a lot of people. When I say people, we talking 50 states, okay? So just because homes may not be selling in your area, that doesn't mean somebody in another area is not moving to your area and needs some documents notarized. It doesn't mean somebody in your area may not end up in a nursing home and they need to have some documents notarized. Every notary doesn't even go to nursing homes. Some don't go to jails, right? Some don't know how to fill out documents. So there's a lot of reasons why, even though it may look like the market is oversaturated, it's really not. It's really not. People die. One of my contacts that I have right now, one of my really good companies that I work with, their other notary died. This happened like 4 years ago. I just happened to be at the right place at the right time. Wrong and sad for that other person, of course, but it was my opportunity. And actually it might have been a little bit longer than that. But their other notary died. People move. Right now I got somebody that just told me in the chat, shout out DJS. DJS, shout out to her. She's a regular, been with us for years. She is moving from New York to one of the Carolinas. And I was like, whoa, what is that going to look like? So that's going to change her business, but she's still going to be able to move and be a notary there. If I decide I want to move to any of the 50 states, I can become a notary in those states. I just have to start over, but I can do the same thing that I've done here in Georgia. And if I can do it here, I can do it anywhere because we have a lot more restrictions than most states, okay? We have a lot more restrictions than most states. However, that being said, I still make my money. There's a lot of notaries around here. How do I stand out is another good question. How do I stand out? Since there's so many notaries, if I put in my zip code, 100 notaries pop out. How does my notary business stand out among the rest of them? One, I provide excellent service when I get there. It starts from the time I answer the telephone. Hello, thank you for calling None Better Mobile Notary Services. This is Kimberly. How may I help you? I want them to know I want their business. Okay. Next, I'm going to ask them for a review when I finish. And let's go before that. I'm going to provide excellent service while I'm there. I'm going to make sure I'm efficient in doing what I need to do. I'm going to make sure I'm friendly. And then I'm going to ask for that review at the end. Okay. Then I'm going to ask for that review. And then as those reviews start growing, Google My Business is going to work for me because it's going to say, hey, this girl got all those reviews over there, 5 stars. She's doing something right. We'll refer her. They're going to work for me. Chat GPT, the enemy, is working for me right now as we speak. I've had several clients now. They went into chat. For example, they went over to chat because they wanted to. I got an event I'm going to tomorrow. I might wash this and rewear it, y'all. Because I'm really liking how this pink is looking. I might wash this and rewear it because I got something I'm going to and I really like this. Off topic. Off topic, but I think I'm going to wear this. I'm looking at this pink. Y'all know I love me some pink. I used to be a red girl when I was in school. I was red everything. I guess that's because that was my school colors, but I love me some pink. But anyway, all that being said, what was my other question? I just forgot what I was asking. I was telling y'all rather. If you have any questions about your business, feel free to drop it. Okay. If you have any questions, are you starting a notary business? Are you interested? How is your business doing right now? How's your business doing? And we all know first quarter, last quarter of a year, things do move a little bit slower. But you always want to be, like I say, stay ready so you ain't got to get ready. It may not be a whole lot of signings right this second, but while there aren't, I'm doing field inspection. I'm doing mystery shopping. So we teach you all of that in our mentorship program. I'll tell you a little bit about it. The Notary Business Success Mentor Program. And it's an all-inclusive package. You either have a $27 entry point or $47, either one. And we're going to help you from beginning to end to grow that business. Now, depending on which package you choose, you have about 4 or 5 of the core courses in the first package. And then the second is all-inclusive. So you have access to all of our training courses. We meet live every single week with workshops. Okay, there's always a little training because we always got to teach you something. That's just how we do. And then the rest of the session is all about you and your business. Whatever it is you want to talk about, we're celebrating wins. Excuse me, my throat is a little dry. So there's also a 7-day per week chat that you can have access to, 7 days per week. I ain't gonna say it's 24 hours because I typically stay in here till around 11 p.m. Eastern. And that's because I got a lot of people on the West Coast to help them out. But check out All Things Notary. You can sign up today at notaryeducators.com. And while you're signing up, you get immediate access to the courses. So we meet every Monday night right now at the time of this filming because that's what the community chose. So we have a set day and time. We meet every Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern. If for some reason you cannot make the live workshop, then there's always access to the replay. Okay, you have access not only to your replays that you're starting going forward, but you have access to all the replays going back. Okay, so what other questions do you all have for me today? So that was the main thing I wanted to talk about, that there is still a need for notaries, but there's a need for good notaries. Okay, there's a need for good notaries. So do not get on the train where, oh, woe is me, I got my commission, I'm not getting any business. No, we need to figure out, why aren't you getting business? Are you not getting business because you don't know what to do? Are you getting business? Are you not getting business because you haven't set your business up properly? Right? Do you even know what you're supposed to do as a notary? Do you have your supplies? I have notaries sometimes they get their commission, they're so excited, and I hate to bust their little bubble, but I'm like, look, I let them go on, and then I have to start asking the hard questions. Do you feel like you can go over to a nursing home if I sent you over there right now to complete a power of attorney? No, then you need to be checking out my estate/trust training course, my specialty general notary training course. You have to get some training, guys. Now, it doesn't have to be 200 modules. And I'm not exaggerating when I say that there are some courses that are 200 modules, okay? Ain't nothing wrong with that. But some stuff you're going to have to just get it when you get out there in the field. You're just going to have to learn it in the streets. You just got to. I don't want you to learn in the streets. That's why we have an excellent training program. And we also have the community where 7 days per week you can get help with your assignment, right? That help can come via myself or the other community members because they know some stuff. They're doing some things and it's just going amazing, right? So if you have not seen any of our success videos, please go through the last week or so. You can see a lot of our videos where we have success stories up, and they have been doing amazing. We had one person do 388 field inspections. Yes, they learned that from me. Okay. They have another person, and we gave out awards actually. We have another person, she did 40 mystery shops. Yes, she learned that from me. My mystery shopping course is amazing. So if you're not ready for mentorship right now, you can actually check out the individual courses and use coupon code WIN2025 for 60% off. Again, coupon code is WIN2025. Okay. And that's at notaryeducators.com, and just see what works for you. The apostille course is there, wedding officiant. People are still getting married. Do you know somebody got married last year? You know somebody getting married this year? Are you in a wedding? Are you helping plan a wedding? Are you paying for a wedding? So weddings are still happening, guys. People are still getting married. The news would have you think that no one's getting married. No, people are still getting married. They are still getting married. And they're going to need somebody to officiate that wedding, right? If it's not wedding officiant, are you able to do wedding coordinator? Are you good at planning? Okay. The other thing I'm really talking about now, in addition to my notary channel, is my Creators Club with Kimmi. I'm teaching people how to do social media, how to get in that YouTube space, how to use social media for your business. A lot of you are not even on TikTok, Instagram, or anything trying to get business. Now, a lot of your business will not come from doing TikTok or Instagram. However, Facebook is another option for you as a notary. Your neighbors need to know, are you signed up with Nextdoor? Okay. A lot of times our marketing is not good. That's another question we should ask. Am I not getting business because my marketing is poor? Does everyone know I'm a notary? Do I have business cards? Am I leaving my cards everywhere? I give business cards to at least 2 to 3, usually 3, to every single client, because that's not a huge investment for me. I buy like 1,000 or 2,000. I actually have 4,000 from this last batch from Vistaprint, but I give it every client at least 3 business cards, at least 3. So some of them would be like, well, I already got you on my phone. I'm like, oh, that's fine. You think you can hand them out to your friends for me? Okay. So I make sure I leave them wherever I can. I have one of my students, he left, and I talked about this a few days ago. He left some business cards. He was at a Mexican restaurant, and he asked them, "Hey, can I leave some cards?" And they were like, "Sure." So you got to get it how you can get it, okay? And that might mean leaving some cards at a restaurant. It means getting out in the neighborhood, going to the barbershop, getting out into the neighborhood, going up to Panera and leave it on the board if they have one. So we got to get creative sometimes too. We can't just sit. That's the other thing I get a lot. Well, I'm not getting any work, and I start asking questions, and they're like, I'm like, did you do this? Did you do that? Nope, 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 and nope. So all those no's equal what, guy? A zero. A zero. If you ain't doing nothing, you ain't gonna get nothing. If you don't go out there and put some corn in the ground or apple seeds or whatever, apples ain't gonna just pop up in your yard. Now, unless you moved in the house and the tree was already there, but somebody planted the tree. Somebody, and they still reaping from it. You're still reaping from it, right? But you got to go out there and do the work, or nothing's going to happen. It's just not. So is this a good time to still start the notary business? It sure is. Don't wait for another government shutdown to come around, and then you're like, oh, you know what? Let me start something quick. No, now's the time to build your business. You might have something else going on. You have your full-time job. I'm not saying quit it. But I am saying have something that you own. Have something that you own. What do you own? Do you own your car? Do you own your home? Do you own your glasses, your cell phone? Literally, people are renting all of these things. They're renting their cell phones. I've been stopped that. I used to do it too, so I'm not going to beat you up too bad. But they'll tell you, oh, you can get a new phone every 2 years. Well, do you really need a new phone every 2 years? The phone I'm filming on right now, I've been filming with for 4 years. 4 years. Somebody just reached out and asked me earlier, hey, Kimmi, because they know I do YouTube. What do you do? What are you filming on? How do you get your videos? I'm like, on my cell phone. I've been doing it for, again, this is my second phone since I've been doing social media. But if the other one's a Samsung, I had that one for, I don't know, 4 years or so. Mine go out about every 4 years. Not out, but I'm just probably time for an upgrade. But again, I don't rent my phones anymore. I don't. I'll wait till I have the money and I'll pay cash for my phones. I don't rent phones anymore because there's always a catch to something. People ain't just giving you something for nothing, okay? They're just not. I did a video the other day too about overpaying for your notary training. There's no need to pay thousands and thousands of dollars anymore. That's why for me, the days of, well, I don't know what to do, I'm stuck, I need some help, that's over for me. I give you everything you need in 2 options, actually 3. Either the $27 plan, $47 plan, live weekly workshops. There is no excuses. All last year, I was like, no excuses, no excuses. And we opened up that $27 option back in October last year. Actually went very well. People, I realized that they needed a lower entry point because people just had a rough time. You know, I get that. Things are hard and they're going to get a little harder, quite frankly. You know, first of the year, while people still just try to figure out stuff. You know, it's always a little bit trickier the first, trying to get back on track. You know, probably overspent on gifts and did all this stuff. Traveling, doing stuff. You know what I'm saying? I get that. We're human. We want our families to be happy. But now it's crunch time, guys. Now it's crunch time. We got to start owning something. So own your own notary business is a great start. If it's not notary, look into doing a field inspection piece of it. Look into doing just general notary. You don't have to do every piece of the puzzle. Now, I do everything because I do this full time. I do this full time, me and my husband. So I have to do what I have to do to meet my daily goals. Okay. That's what I have to do. Now, you may not have to work this business full time. I just got off of the call. We do our community. So I do like these little pop-in check-in calls in addition to our weekly live sessions. I do little pop-up calls. And I did one earlier today and I had 2 people on there. One was retired and the other one is getting SSI. So the point is that everybody has a different circumstance. Again, for me and my husband, we do this full time. Most of my members do it part time. They have something else that they're doing. Either they're in school, they're completing degrees, they're raising their families. They don't have to really work. They just need a little side or something, you know, or they just want to be active in their communities. It's an excellent way to do that. So there's so many benefits to getting your commission, but I don't want you to just get your commission. I want you to get your commission and thrive. I want you to get your commission and make money. Okay. I don't do anything. I always say if it don't make money, it don't make sense. So yeah, you sitting on your commission, another year is rolling by, and here we go. Here we go. Matthew says, hey, Matthew, Matthew says renting all will always end up paying more in the end. Notes on cars, you give the dealer more money. Mortgage on your house, you give the bank more money. Paying on a plan or for the phone, U.S. plans. Matthew's right. Matthew's right. You pay more. So Matthew hit the nail on the head. Now everybody can't go out and buy a home today, but can you put that in your near future? Maybe instead of put a purse on hold, put some shoes on hold. I'm telling y'all be sharp. You see me? Hear me. I be on Instagram. I'm looking at people. I'm like, dang, I wish I could dress like that. That is dope. But they don't own nothing. They ain't got up nothing. The person that look all flashy and stuff, 9 out of 10 times, they ain't got nothing, y'all. They're not. They don't have anything. You want to look like the person who don't look like they got nothing. They actually sitting on something. Okay? So Matthew is right. You're going to pay more if you continue to rent. And right now you may have to. I've rented before. Nothing wrong with it. And I'll be honest with you. My parents had a home. Now, we off topic, but you can hang out if you want to. I'm dropping gems. It's up to you. My parents had a home, but when me and my husband got married, we moved out to like a suburb of Michigan. And a lot of those people were different races. And they talked about buying homes and talked about that. In my home, my parents weren't like, you know what, you should make sure you get you a house when y'all get married. I don't recall that conversation. I don't recall it. I would hear these other cultures, though, with their children, and they're getting married, and they're buying homes. I said, oh, okay. I was like, could we even buy a house? And I worked at the bank, but never even thought about it. I figured it cost too much. So we rented for 4 years. We had an apartment. Then we moved to a townhouse, and then we moved to Georgia, and that's when we bought our first home. Because we first moved to Georgia, houses was dirt cheap. Our first house was like $79,500. It was dirt cheap. A whole 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, 2.5 bath. Okay. And people were like, that's a very nice starter home. And I used to be like, what's a starter home? The people would always come by here and say that. It's a very nice starter home. And I'll be looking like, why do they call it a starter home? So then I realized what people supposed to do. They say you're supposed to move every 7 years. You take the equity, then you go bigger. Well, why you got to do that? It was just me and Jeffrey. We didn't need nothing bigger. We didn't need anything bigger. Why we got to do that? So then 2006, 2008 happened. Our expenses was getting crazy because we was those crazy people doing anything and everything with money. And I was like, one day I was driving down the freeway and I saw a sign that says live debt free. And I was like, debt free? How is that possible? It was Dave Ramsey. And oh man, people sending me messages like crazy. Hold on. Let me see, can I answer this? Sorry guys. Sorry, I am live. Okay, I had to get that one. The other one can wait. So anyway, it said live debt free. And I was like, debt free? How's that possible? So I started listening to him, became fanatical, guys. Anything I do, I usually just take the bull by the horns. I'm like, let's go. Learned all about it, came home one day, expenses was getting crazy, doing all them crazy refis and all that kind of stuff. And I told my husband, I said, look, and it's the same thing with you guys too. I hope you're listening. You can make some decisions right now or some decisions are going to be made for you. So I told my husband, I said, look, we could try to stay in this house, which at that time we wasn't even really staying there. We were living there, but our life was actually in another city because we was doing some volunteer work, whole nother story. And his job was over in Norcross. My job was over in Norcross. We just spent a lot of time over in Norcross. And I was like, we should really move. I said, we could simplify. And at that time, our friends were doing it too. Our friends had moved. They had a home and they had moved to an apartment. And we had lived in an apartment in years, you know? So he was like, I ain't selling my house. I said, okay, you can make the decision. Either it's going to happen today or it's going to happen tomorrow. But we leaving this house. Now, how are we going to leave it? It's up to us. Are we going to leave on our own accord or are they going to come and take it? Now, y'all know I wouldn't let nobody come take my house. We was not rolling like that, okay? Not doing that. So we made a decision to move. And it's all good. It's a good thing that we did because that particular neighborhood was going down, 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 down. Not when we were there. And actually, even when we go by there now, that particular part of the neighborhood is still amazing. The main street, because it didn't have an HOA, that's a whole nother topic. The main street, though, terrible. Absolutely terrible. So anyway, it was a blessing that we got out of there, and then we were able to buy again. So we rented for like 6 or 7 years. So your business is going to take changes and turns too. You may start out doing one thing, and then you got to realize, you know what? I thought I didn't want to do loan signing because I just want to make all my money doing general notary work. Oh, but you know what? I realized I can make some money doing loan signing, so let me add that. Let me add that. Or I realized, you know what? I started doing loan signing. I don't want to do general notary work because there's a lot of people that don't want to do either or, for real. Again, I do everything because we do this full time. But I get a lot of people that start out doing general notary work. They're like, I'm not touching loan signing. No. Or they start out doing loan signing. I have no interest in going to nursing homes. I have no interest in doing this. And then they end up adding it. So you always are evolving and making changes. You have to grow. So us leaving that first house, I don't regret it even now. Everything has benefits and perks if you look deep into it. You know, why did that happen? It gave me a whole financial picture, a whole complete picture. Okay. So now I can help other people. And that's usually what happens when you're going through something. Matthew says, live with your parents and put the money away in your savings or investments, and you'll be straight. And he's right. He's right. Now, that's not something a lot of us do. Matthew, you're dropping some gems, huh? That's not something a lot of us do in different cultures. It's just not. There are certain ethnicities, they live together. They do the whole thing from the time they get married to the time whatever, right? Right? However, we can't do that, okay? If we had to versus living under a bridge, I guess we would, but that's not going to be our first option. It's not. My mother-in-law had a house here. Me and my mother had a house in the same subdivision, okay? That's 3 houses. Me and Jeff couldn't have bumped that one of the other two to save some money. No. No. Now, some people can do it. It's not for us. It never has been. My husband is not getting ready to live with somebody. When we were first getting married, my mom actually offered it. She said, hey, y'all can come live here. Because I had all my siblings were gone. So it was just my parents at home and me. And Jeff's parents came by. My mom was like, y'all could live upstairs in my room. Because it was a big room. It's like a bungalow house in Michigan. If you know, you know. So I did have a nice size room. But it wasn't nice enough to move my husband in and all that. That was not get ready to fly. And my husband is just not that person. There are some men that don't care, you know. They're about that money life. They like, we'll do whatever we got to do so we got to pay all these bills. Okay. Jeffrey never was like that. So it's all good. But we're fine. We got some place to stay. You know, I had a lot of life lessons and stuff. So hopefully you're listening to me ramble and take some notes away, okay? Let's get Matthew's comment. He says, I thank God for my parents. I got this house in 96 when houses were cheap for $65,000. Now it's worth $240,000. Yes. And that's kind of the situation we were in too, Matthew. We were able to buy again in 2011. Yeah. Excellent. You're blessed. And it's good to have good parents. And all of us don't have nobody to help us. All of us don't have somebody to help us. So we got to help ourselves, guys. Do not be waiting on the government to come and help you. Don't be trying to wait on no zero down program. If it happens for you, great, okay? But a lot of times those programs, NACA, and I got a coworker one year. She went through Bank of America, and she did a NACA. I think it was. I just told y'all the name of it. Oh God, I think it was NACA, whatever that home program is. But for 5 years, you have to stay in the house, and they'll give you money to fix it up and all this and all that. And I was thinking about it because we were looking at homes around the same time. Well, my credit was different than hers, so I didn't have to do that. That's another thing. Get that credit straight, people. Don't go out here buying all your notary stuff on credit. And I had somebody ask the other day, and no shade, there's nothing wrong with it. I think they just joined us too. It's nothing wrong with trying to get grants and all that stuff, but be careful because what happens is a lot of people paying $2,000 or $3,000 for grant programs in teachings and courses and stuff, thinking they're going to be able to go out here and get this money to start your business. You don't need that to start a notary business, guys. You do not need grants. What you do need to do is get disciplined. If you need to go out there and do Uber or something like that, or just take some of your part-time money, take your hair and nail money, okay, to start saving for your equipment, that's what you need to do. That's what you need to do. And to get started, you don't need that much. To get started, you do need some ink pens. You need a journal. You need clipboards. You need a little bag to put everything in. You need a few stamps. But you can just do general notary work for a while. You don't have to jump in there and do loan signing. When you get ready to do loan signing, then you're going to have a computer, and you're going to have a printer, a scanner. I have multiple scanners. I have three. I have a desktop, and I have two smaller ones. So I don't really need three, but something happened. Oh, I know what it was. We bought one, and it only did like maybe 10 pages at a time. And then the next one we got does like 30. So that's why we have three. And then we have our big one that does even more. So, it just depends on what you're going to do with the business. Salma says, girl, I missed your live notification. I was watching your other channel. Thank you, girl. I appreciate the support. For those of you who do not know, I do have two other YouTube channels, depending on what you're interested in. This is Notary Educators with Kimmi. I have Healthy Life with Kimmi, where I document my weight loss journey, and which I started back this year too. And I'm getting ready to go live over there. I'm going to talk about kimchi in just a moment because I've been eating that. And I actually like it. I don't know if y'all ever tried it, but I'm going to go live and talk about that over there. And then I also have Creators Club with Kimmi, and that's where I teach people how to do YouTube and content, because I'm about that content life. And I really want that for a lot of you. I want you to use content in your notary business, or you may be interested in doing content like myself and be here on YouTube. So you can check that one out too. Okay. Creators Club with Kimmi, or Healthy Life with Kimmi. Okay. Because your girl is a content creator, straight up. I took offense to that one year when I was first starting. Somebody says, oh, she's an influencer. And the way they said it was kind of shady. And I was like, influencer? I know influencer. I'm an educator. But as things change, and like I said, as you evolve, I'm a content creator. I embrace it. I love it. I do it. I do content. I'm a content creator. How about that? All right. Matthew's cracking up. Hey, Gaynor, how are you? Where are you located? Where are you located? And welcome. Gaynor03. Matthew says, husband, nah, live with your parents when you single or young. Yes. And I recommend that too, for real. I really do. There's no need to rush out there, guys, unless you have a straight up drama with your parents or something and just start taking on all this debt and be independent. I got my own apartment, and all this stuff. Humble yourself and just hang out there as long as you can. Humble yourself and save your dollars, okay? It's not worth it. Now, if you got to go, you got to go for some reason. Okay, if you got to go, you got to go. But in my case, I wasn't having no problems at home. Parents were cool. I didn't leave home till I got married. Been married all this time. So I don't even know what it's like to really, truly live by myself. I don't know. I'm not trying to find out because I do love my husband and stuff, So I'm not trying to find out. But yeah, if you can, postpone some of this stuff, guys. Postpone some of these luxuries. You ain't got to have a brand new car. You may have a top-notch job, but that don't mean you got to have a car to match it. I drove a 97 Honda. We had an Expedition, short version, back to the money. We got rid of that. And then we ended up downsizing that vehicle to a Jeep Liberty, which was stupid. Because what we caught ourselves doing is getting rid of the Expedition car payment, go to the Jeep Liberty and stretch out the car payments, which was dumb. And then that didn't work. So here we go. Just dumb stuff. Then we get rid of that car and we got a PT Cruiser. If y'all remember that, supposed to be an SUV, LLL, my friend Tim. We had the biggest laugh about that because it was classified as an SUV, but it was a hatchback, but they call it an SUV. And he was like, that ain't no SUV. I was like, it is an SUV. That's what they told me. Anyway, so got rid of that. And when I simplified and got rid of all that junk, I owed the bank some money. I owed the bank $10,000. We owe Bank of America $10,000. Yeah, because we got rid of that car. They wanted their money back. I wanted my credit good. So I ended up paying cash for a $3,500 Honda. It was a 97 red Honda Accord. Everybody saw that red Honda before. I had that car for 10 years. 10 years. It wouldn't die. It wouldn't die. But I was at a different mindset. So you got to change your mindset. When I get all these questions about, is the notary business still working? Is it still for me? I can't find business. All this. We got to change our mindset. Get out there and get it. Get it. Now, if you ain't about to do that, go to work your 9 to 5. There's nothing wrong with that. It's not It's nothing wrong with that. I don't even know that everybody is meant to be an entrepreneur. I'm in love with it. I bleed this stuff out. I do. I love it. I love being an entrepreneur. But it may not be for you. It may not be. It may not be. I'm realizing that because I'm like, well, why aren't they doing this? Or why don't they do that? But then the flip side of that is I've seen people come into community with us at Notary Educators who didn't think they could do it. They never saw it before. They never had nobody that owned their own business that could teach them and show them the ropes with love and kindness and want them to win. That's what we do. That's what we do. And that is what touches my heart. So if you have not seen our success videos, please go back and watch them. They're in on YouTube now. We did a whole hour and 15-minute end of year celebration week recently. Some of those people will tell you, I never thought I could have a business. I never thought I could have my own business. And then now they're blowing up because they're with the right people. And most of you may know somebody who tried to have a business, but it wasn't successful. Most of you may not even know nobody who had their own business. Everybody just worked for somebody else. You know, you've not seen that. I was blessed to see that. Now, the circumstances in which I was blessed to see it were kind of weird, kind of crazy, in the sense that my dad worked for Ford Motor. So whenever he would get laid off, he still had to feed us. We were 4 little kids. He still had to feed us, right? So when that would happen, he started a carpet cleaning business one year. Little did they know that thing was going to blow up. So they kept it. They never closed it. Until they got a little bit older. And then they got rid of the carpet cleaning business. But that was what fed us when my dad couldn't work at Ford Motor. So I've seen entrepreneurship. He used to have all of us out giving out business cards. I used to see my mother answering the telephone. So I know all that. My mother didn't play. My mother was a beast master. And I didn't even really realize what an entrepreneur she was until a little bit later. You know, you see your parents do stuff. They just do it. They just do. I'm that person. I just do, you know. So I hope that I know that I am. I don't hope. I know that I'm changing lives via Notary Educators. I get that all day long, even if you're not in mentorship. Now, you can only imagine if you're in mentorship what you get. But I give right here on YouTube. This is my community work. I have so many people that have built their businesses and learned from me right here on YouTube. And they send me notes. Girl, I wouldn't have been able to do that apostille without you. Thank you. I started my fingerprinting business because of you. I got my notary commission because I saw you. I learned, this, and that from watching you. The numbers don't lie. So I feel blessed that I'm able to do that. Now, I'm okay. I work. And I have my Notary Educators business. So you give, you get. That's facts, too. So provide excellent customer service to your clients when you get them. Act like you want to help them on the phone. Act from your heart that you want to help them, not just put on because you want their money. Matthew says, them Jews help their own, which we could be like that. LOL, only you help me get is from your folks. LOL. Yes, other communities, as we already stated, they stick together. And we all can learn from different cultures. We all can. I have a lot of Hispanic friends, and I've learned from them how you can be content with less. I'm of the mindset, I grew up in Detroit, so what you drive is really important. If you know, you know. In Detroit, what you drive is more important than where you live at. Ask somebody from Detroit if I'm lying. Ask somebody from Detroit if I'm lying. I'm not. What you drive is more important. And that's the stupidest thing ever. Stupid. People would be on welfare, ADC, da-da-da, coming in there driving luxury cars. I'm sitting here like, I'm at work and I can't drive that. But what you drive is more important. Now, I did my whole car thing. I told you, I did a lot of stupid stuff with cars. I had a car payment since I was 18 years old. Because I love that car payment thing. I love dragging that note with me every month. Pulling off the thing. Never own it. One year I learned about, guess what, guys? Negative equity. Negative equity. They don't teach you that. They don't teach you any of this in school. That's why you need to get with a community such as ours that can help you to build out your notary business. So negative equity, let's talk about it. You buy a vehicle, you take it off the lot, They charged you $20,000 for it. You try to go sell it next week, it's only worth 15. Where that extra 5 going? It's called negative equity. I learned that real quick. So they're going to just roll it over to the next car. So you can go down the street to another car dealership. He going to let you get another car, and you're going to roll that 5 over. So now your new car is $30,000 plus the $5,000 that you just rolled over. Here we go. So 30 plus 5 is how much, y'all? $35,000. So how much negative equity do we have at this point? How much? How much negative? Did somebody say 10,000? Because we rolled over 5. Now we rolled over another 5. Right? Let me check my math. Hold on. Yeah. Because see, now you got the 5, then you roll it over. Okay. Your new car is 30. And you're going to have another 5 from that that's going to be negative. So yeah, we got 10. You got the original 5, now you got another 5. So it's just going to keep on rolling over. Rolling over. All right. Matthew says, LOL, these girls be spending $200, $300, $400, $500 on just their hair. Like for real. For real. People spend good money on their hair, y'all. They get I don't care what kind of hairstyle you get. I'm telling you, it's crazy. The money people spend on their hair. I'm like, And then they want to get over on Facebook and learn how to be a notary. That's not how this thing works. It's just not. It's not. They get over Facebook. I talked about this yesterday. People was dying laughing. But it's like, I want to be a notary. I go get my commission. And then they go, just start filling out papers, right? And they go to Facebook groups. There's thousands of Facebook groups. I get invited to them all day long. They want me to come be a member. I got about 3 or 4. I ain't doing all of them. Because half of them don't know what they're doing. So really quick, I'm going to get y'all comments. So they get on Facebook and put the document in there and they go, can somebody tell me what goes here? What goes here on this line right here? And I'm sitting there looking. I'm like, your name? What goes right here, people? The date? Oh, what goes on this line? The name of your client? Let's read the context, people. So it's just hilarious, guys. Hey, Sharon, welcome. She says, hey, Kimmi, I see your must-have notary supply list. Do you recommend a site or a starter kit for me to get started? I am super newbie. You can actually just click those links on the startup list, the recommended supply list, rather. It'll take you to Amazon. I buy all my supplies from Amazon. I have bought 2 things from the NNA, which is the National Notary Association. But those 2 things I did not need. I bought the mini stamp, never worked, and it really wasn't even mini. So I get all my stamps, all my supplies right from Amazon, and you can too, okay? I've heard people say, well, it may not be compliant. If they don't ask you for a certificate that you're a real notary, all that's hoopla, people. They don't have to ask you for that. They're selling you the stamp. It's Georgia compliant, Florida compliant. They know what exactly needs to be on there, the people that are making the stamp for you on Amazon. So check out the notary supply list. Thank you for mentioning it. It's completely free, under free resources, okay? Matthew says, I don't know what it's like in other states, but here in PA, there's a state website. They have a lot of supplies and kits. Yeah, you don't have to do all that. You can get it right from Amazon. A lot of those other sites, they upcharge you and it just costs more. All my stamps, everything. Typically, they run about $15. I got the set, actually. I get the embosser and the stamp, the set, and I think that's $45. So, because I recommend an embosser for your documents like your power of attorneys, your wills, and stuff like that you want to make look pretty. Okay, you're gonna always use your rectangular stamp. I don't really recommend the round too much because it doesn't fit most documents, so I prefer the rectangular. Okay. Matthew says you can also start a pressure washing business, window cleaner, reseller, cut grass, something you're good at, and that's what my whole other channel is about, Creators Club. I actually have a video on there. How to start a cleaning company, how to start a lawn care business, how to start mobile eyebrow business, because people really pay for all this kind of stuff we were just talking about. They would pay you to come and do their eyebrows. They would pay you to come and cut their hair. So I got all kind of videos on that Creators Club channel about that kind of stuff. Cars are a depreciating asset. They take your money. Yep. Matthew, you got a lot of gems. You need to be having your own YouTube channel. The note, the value, the study declining. Fix it a lot, take off immediately, is 10%. And you know what's so funny about Matthew's comment? I bought a vehicle right from the car dealership. Now, again, not knowing and just being crazy. I should know because I worked at the bank for 20 years. Let's keep saying that. Kimmi, you worked at the bank for 20 years. But that ain't what they teach you at the bank, okay? So I got this car, had my loan through the car place. I said, you know what? Let me call the credit union so I can get it cheaper over there. Because usually the credit union is cheaper. But me being impulsive and my husband and not waiting, we was like, you know what? Let's get that car. We could do it on the back end. So we go to get the car loan from the credit union. Guys, I can't make this stuff up. I can sit here all day with stories. I can sit here all day. I'm not going to, but I can. I'm going to give y'all a few more minutes. But anyway, we go get the car. Next day, I call the credit union. I say, hey, I got this car, and I want to refinance it. They were like, ma'am, it's a used car now. I was like, what? I just picked it up yesterday. What are you talking about? The moment you drive it off the lot, guys, for those of you who may be new to this space, to buy the car, buying stuff, it's used. It's used. So the rate that I could have gotten the day before, if I had went to get the loan from the credit union before I went to get the car, is completely different than now. The vehicle is only 24 hours old. I just drove it off the lot, and now it's a used car. It's used. Is that crazy? Is that crazy? So you better know, honey, people know the game. You better know how to play the game. You better know how to play the game. And if you don't know how to play the game, you need to be in YouTube University. You need to be self-teaching yourself. You need to be with people who do know, i.e. me. Okay, let's go. All right, Matthew said, I've seen people online with negative equity. Tons of money was like $90,000 for a worthless car. And they are not lying. They are not lying. It's all kind of stories right now, especially on TikTok and stuff. Okay, it's crazy. Sharice says, see, if you've never experienced any of this, you would not have the Kimmi before us. Everything happens for a reason. Thank you, God. Oh, you're so welcome, Sharice. Yeah, I hope I'm helping you, girl, because Lord knows I done did some stuff. Matthew's cracking up. Saul is too. Okay, Salma says, you need to stop killing me. I didn't even finish what I was saying before I hit the send button from laughing so much. You ain't no good. I'm telling y'all, I got stories for days. Matthew like, yep, 100%. That's why it loses 10 to 11%. Yes, so I'm telling you guys, take notes. And it was so funny about a couple months ago, I was on here. Somebody dropped in the comment. They said, you said you were going to teach us such and such, and you did not. I was like, you weren't paying attention. I not only taught you that, but I taught you 10 other things, okay? And somebody in mentorship made me feel so good because they must have been live that day or the next day when I was talking about it. Because I really like that comment, y'all. I was like, every time I get on here, I'm dropping gems. Now, if you listen to the gems, it's another story, okay? That's different. I can talk and tell you something, but are you actually listening? Are you hearing what I'm saying, right? So that person, when they said that, I was like, girl, please block and delete. I don't have time for negativity. Matthew says, it's so funny on YouTube, a video they showed a car 1 year old with not even no miles on it, very low. It lost more than half. Yep. Because once that year is gone, it's no longer the new make and model. It's over. It could be sitting there, it could be a brand new 25, never driven, and we're in 26. That's an old car. So when it comes to buying vehicles now, we typically buy Honda because we like something that's going to last. Not all Hondas are made equal, so do your homework. There is a website I'll give you. Oh, I wish Jeffrey was here. Look it up, guys. It might be carcomparison.com. Matthew 8661 might know. Carcomparison.com or something like that. But anyway, it's a website. It compares vehicles. So you don't want to get, it'll tell you what's all wrong with the 2008. What's all wrong with the 2009? What's all wrong with the 2011? So it's not a exact science, right? Because there's going to be something wrong with every vehicle. It's man-made. Men make mistakes. But you could pick the lesser of two evils. So like my car is a 2009. It's a 2009. Yeah, that thing look good. It ain't going nowhere unless it get totaled. I'm not buying a new car. Now, Jeffrey had to get a new car recently, and it wasn't even new. But he ain't got another Honda. And then he ain't have to get the one he wanted. But, you know, sometimes you get to a certain age, it's like, I want what I want. I want what I want. And that's how he was. I have made decisions like that. I'm like, and it's so funny because right now, guys, I told you on my Healthy Life channel, I document my weight loss and different things I do in the kitchen or whatever sometimes. And I've been buying Publix cantaloupe. I paid like $8, $9. I've paid as much as $10 for their chopped up cantaloupe, right? But my wrist sometimes, especially because I'm using my embosser a lot and I've had some injuries to my wrist, carpal tunnel, et cetera, it hurts sometimes. So for me to chop up cantaloupe all day, 1, 2 a day or whatever, I'm not going to do it. That's one of those things. Now you get to a certain age, it's like, I'm going to pay $9 for this cantaloupe and that's what I want. I want the cantaloupe. I'm going to get the cantaloupe. So Jeffrey's out now getting me a $10 cantaloupe probably, but it's already pre-cut at Publix. And what they do is it's enough because he don't really eat it. So out of that package that I buy, I can eat off of it for 3 days. So it's all good. It's just one of those things. I like the cantaloupe. I'm going to pay for the cantaloupe and I'm going to do the cantaloupe. All right. Matthew says, I want a German car one day, but it definitely won't be my first car. But when I got it like that, I will. Yeah. And it's so funny. I have a friend of mine. That's all he drives is German cars. Now, Jeffrey don't prefer them because he just thinks it takes too much to maintain them. It takes too much to maintain them. So that's going to be, and he loves them. My friend loves, he loves tinkering with them. Anything go wrong, he know how to play with them. You know what I'm saying? So that's going to be just a personal thing. But they do take a lot to maintain. And I can hear Jeffrey fussing all day. Why you get that German car, the BMW, the Audi, and da-da-da. Actually, we got a couple friends when I mentioned the Audi. Yeah, we got a couple friends. They love working on cars. But that's what they do. That's their thing. So if they want to spend a little bit more money and play with it on the weekends, go for it. You can't go through life and not enjoy none of it. You cannot. I'm not going to do that. I don't recommend you do that. You do need to be balanced. You need to be balanced. But I'm not going to recommend you just go through life and you don't get some of the stuff you want. I'm just not. I ain't going to live like that. Now, do I put the law down a lot? I do. Because I ain't trying to be homeless either, okay? Ain't nobody I can call and say, hey, can you give me $500? Can I get $100 from you? Right now, if I need $50, I don't even have nobody I can call. I might be slightly exaggerating. But I say that because I don't want to ask nobody for nothing. I want to, as long as I can work and take care of myself, I want to do that. I'm going to do that. So that means I do multiple services. I do general notary work. I do loan signing work. I do fingerprinting. I do apostilles. I do proctoring. I do mystery shopping. I do field inspections. I do everything because I don't want to ask nobody for nothing. Nada, zip, zero. Get it? All right, guys. Y'all got 4 minutes. Any questions? I'm out of here. Matthew, thank you for participating so much tonight. I appreciate it. Welcome to all my new people. If you have not checked out my books, I have one for every state. Start your notary business in Florida, Indiana, Georgia. These just happen to be the ones I have, but all states, you have your own book. All things notary, notary-educators.com. I will see you over in mentorship. Don't forget, if you want a self-paced course, you can check out self-paced courses. Use coupon code WIN, WIN 2025. I haven't changed it yet, so we're going to keep using that till I do. WIN, WIN 2025 at notaryeducators.com for all things notary again, okay? Anything else? Last minute. Let's get it. If not, I'm going to see you sometime live tomorrow. Salma says, when I grow up, I want to be just like you. You're going to be better than me. How about that? You're going to be better than me. Or we be doing it together. Because I'm always looking for a co-contributor here on YouTube. But everybody is scary. So if you want to join me live, you can let me know at info@notaryeducators.com. If you want to come live with me for real, we can do a deep dive on your business. If you just want to co-host with me, Notary Educators, info@notaryeducators.com. Okay? Seriously. And we'll set it up. You can come co-host. I can't get nobody to co-host with me. Info@notaryeducators.com if you want to come on here and talk some stuff with me. All right, guys. Well, on behalf of Notary Educators with Kimmi, much success. I will see you sometime tomorrow. I don't know what time yet. Okay. Good night. Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to the Notary Educators with Kimmi podcast. We hope you found today's episode helpful and inspiring as you build your notary business. Don't forget to explore our all-inclusive $47 monthly training notary library for more resources to expand your skills and services. Stay connected with us on YouTube at Notary Educators with Kimmi for even more tips, tricks, and industry insights. Be sure to subscribe and share this podcast with others who want to succeed in the notary field. Until next time, keep growing and learning, and take your notary business to the next level. See you soon! Don't forget, for all things notary related, visit notaryeducatorsllc.com.